here at the ugly house, well, we had a really ugly kitchen. Not only was it ugly, but, well, it was really tiny. And so I knew that I needed to do a few things to really expand that footprint of the kitchen, open it up, make it look larger, and not only look larger, but actually be a little larger. And I'm going to show you the tricks that I use to do this, all without ever removing a wall, so that you can duplicate some of the same techniques I'm going to show in this video in your own house. So why don't we get right to it. Every kitchen remodel needs a plan. And I really have to thank cabinets.com here, because they not only provided the plan, but they also provided the kitchen cabinets. How we increase the footprint of the tiny kitchen is we build out into the adjoining room as well. I'm going to create a banquette area, and I'm going to use the same cabinets that we install in the kitchen. Well, I'm going to install those same cabinets in the banquette area. And this is one of the things that we're going to do to double the size of the kitchen without ever removing a wall. I started the kitchen renovation by removing the kitchen cabinets, and I got to tell you, they didn't go willingly. They were a little difficult getting out. But once I did get them out, I just moved on with the rest of the demo, and I started to remove the ceramic tile. And you know, those too were a challenge as well. Many of the tile had been set with liquid nails, and so in pulling them off the wall, there was considerable damage. But that's just the way it is with some renovations. You've got to expect that not everything's going to come out cleanly. So I just continued to move on. Now these are plaster walls, but unfortunately I was unable to save all the plaster, and I had to replace some damaged areas with green board. And that's a water-resistant drywall. And that's what you're going to want to use in a kitchen or in a bathroom, because there's going to be water present. Once I had the walls patched and repaired, well, it was time to move on with a skim coat, and that's what you see me doing here. I'm just applying a very thin coat of plaster over the walls, because this is going to create a very smooth, uniform finish, so that when it comes time to prime and to paint, there'll be very little touch-up to do. Once I got the skim coat out of the way, it was time to tackle the wallpaper. Now, I didn't rent a steamer because, well, it was such a small job. I figured a zip knife was all I was going to need. However, I got to tell you, the wallpaper was difficult just like everything else. It did not come off cleanly. It took me a while, but I got it done. Now, one of the things I decided to do to make the kitchen look so much larger was I expanded the doorway here. Now before, the doorway was a lot smaller. What I wound up doing was taking 10 inches off this side here to open the space up, which will also help incorporate the banquette area in with the kitchen to give it the feeling of one room. Behind me is really starting to expand the space, and it's coming along very nicely. Beyond expanding the doorway and building the banquette area, there are a number of things that you can do if you don't have that option and you want to create the illusion of more space. Number one, use bright colors when you paint the room. You want to use reflective colors, and what I mean by that is whites and neutrals, you know, light gray, beige. Those are reflective colors that make a room look larger than it really is. And then once you get in the darker colors, well, that really shrinks a room, so you want to avoid colors like those. Lighting. You want to have a variety of lighting. Now, what we used was recessed lighting, pendant lighting, and we used task lighting to really illuminate the room, brighten it up, and again, make it appear much larger than what it was. Now, when it comes to cabinets, you want to go the same route as paint. You don't want to select cabinets that are dark in color because it will shrink up the space, just like dark paint will. So we chose a very neutral color. We went with natural maple. And when we selected the countertop, we made certain that our countertop also kind of blended in with the cabinets. So there's no competing colors because that's going to shrink up the space as well. My next tip on how to make a kitchen that's tiny look so much larger than what it is by eliminating clutter and increasing your workspace area. The ugly kitchen, believe it or not, didn't have a dishwasher, so I installed one, and that eliminated a lot of possible clutter from the countertop. There won't be a drying rack for the dishes, and beyond that, I installed a country workstation sink. And what that allowed me to do was to keep the clutter off the countertop and conduct a lot of the kitchen operations right there in the sink. And that will help open up the space as well. Hey, I just wanted to take a quick moment to let you know something's coming, and it's the See Jane Dream House course. That's right. It's going to be out very soon, so just, well, keep a lookout for it. Today's video, it was sponsored by cabinets.com. Now I want you to show them a little love and check out the links below. This is Leah saying you can do this. See you next time.